In this lesson, we will be learning to create and run our first Python Django web app, or we can say first Python Django website. So let us see what are the prerequisites for this. We need to install Python, the latest version. I have already created a video on this. You can go to the channel's playlist and see how to install latest version of the Python. The second is install Django, the latest version of the Django. I have already created a video on this as well. You can watch the video to install Django. Then we need to install the Pycharm. So I have already created this video as well. You can install Pycharm. So we have two options of the Pycharm, the professional version and the community version. So I have used community version here. So now let us see that how to create first Python Django web app. Let us begin with the step number 1. We need to open the Pycharm and create a new project. So I am opening this Pycharm. This is community version, latest version, and you can see the video to install it. So I'll click here on new project. Once I'll click here on new project, it will ask for the project name and I'll type my Python project. So I'll give it the name my Python project. So this is the virtual environment already set here. You don't need to do anything here. The location it will automatically pick, and then it will take the base interpreter, which is the Python exe. That is why I have said that the prerequisite is to install the latest version of the Python. So I'll check on these check boxes: inherit global site packages, make available to all projects. So we'll use a new environment, and then I'll also click on this create a main.py welcome script. So next I'll click on the create button, and this will create a new Python project. Remember, this is only the Python project, and now we have to create a Django project. So this is our first step. Now let us see what is our step number 2. In step number 2, we need to open the terminal and install Django. Remember, if you have already installed Django, then you can skip this step. So, and if you have not installed Django, then you can perform this step. So you can see I'll go downwards here to the terminal, and inside the terminal I am inside the directory my Python project, and here I'll use pip, which is the installer package. So I'll use pip install Django to install Django. If it is not, then it will install. In this case, remember, you need to connect to internet while performing this step, and if it is already installed, then you will get a notification that the requirement is already successful. So you can see I have pressed enter, and here you can see the requirement already satisfied. That means the Django is already installed. So now let's see the next step. In the next step, we need to create a Django project using the Django admin command. So let's go to the terminal, and inside the terminal I'll write Django admin start project, and I'll give the name to my project. It's my Django site. Okay, so this is my Django project name, my Django site, Django admin start project. I'll press enter, and now the project is created. We can go to the Explorer and we can see that this is our my Django site. So this is the folder which is a Django project which was not previously, and inside this we have this manage.py. So we will be using this manage.py in upcoming steps. So we have created the Django project. Now let's see what is the next step. In the next step, we need to change the current directory to the my Django site. So let's go back to the terminal, and this time we need to change the directory. For that, we'll use a cd command, and then I'll change it to the my Django site. So now I am inside this Django project. The next step is to create an app inside the Django project. So we have to create an app inside the Django project, which is step number 4. So let me go to the terminal. Now we will create an app. So start app, and this time I'll write my app. So the name of the app is my app. So now I'll hit enter, and just by hitting enter, you can see that inside this I have my app. You can see in the Explorer we have my app directory with admin.py, apps.py, and we have views.py, and we have lots of folders here. So we have created an app inside the project. Now step number 5, we need to add our app in the settings.py. So we will go to settings.py. So here we can see inside the project we have settings.py. I'll click and I'll open this into the code editor, and I'll search for installed apps. So here it is, the installed apps section, and I need to add one more app here, which is we had just created. This is my app. So I have added our app inside this settings.py. So this step number 5 is done. Now we need to check by running the server that everything is done and everything is working fine. Our Django setup and project is working fine or not. For that, we need to run the server. For that, we'll go back to the terminal and we'll write Python manage.py run server. The URL of the server, you can copy this URL and paste it in any browser to open the server, or I'll just click on this in the web browser. We can see this is the same URL, and we can see the install worked successfully. Congratulations, which means the Django setup is being completed and the Django project setup is completed. Now we will need to create some web pages and run those or execute those web pages to start our website development. So let's go ahead and let me stop the server right now. For that, I'll go to the terminal and I'll press Ctrl C. So this Ctrl C will stop the server for the time being. So let's see which is the step number 7. So the step number 7 is we need to perform migration. Okay, so we will go back to the same directory and we will type Python manage.py migrate. Okay, this is for the database purpose, and you can see this is the message. Okay, and if you are getting such type of message, that means your migration is completed. Now let's move to the step next. The next step is to access the admin section. For that, we need to create the super user. So let's go and create a super user. While creating the super user, we have to provide 3 informations: the super user's name, the password, and the email address. So now let's type Python manage.py create super user. I'll hit enter. So you can see it is asking the super user's name. So let me give the super user's name is super. So I'll give super. So this will be my super user. Then I'll hit enter. It is asking the email ID. So let me give techlearners.ns@gmail.com. So this is the email ID. techlearners.ns@gmail.com. I'll hit enter, so it will ask password. Now remember, you have to be very careful here, because once you will type the password, it will not be visible on the screen. So I am typing a good password with a combination of a small letter, capital letter, and then numbers and one special symbol. So let me type the password. So you can see I am typing the password, but it's not visible. So I have typed the password, hit entered. So it is asking the same password again. I'll have to type it again very carefully. So now I am typing the same password again without making any mistake. Remember, it is not visible on the screen. Now I have typed the password again. I'll hit enter. You can see super user created successfully. So we have created the super user successfully. Now let's go to the next step by checking this admin credentials by logging into admin. For that, we need to run the server. So let's run the server by Python manage.py run server. I'll hit enter. You can see this is the URL again. I'll click on this URL again, and this is the website. In the URL, I will be making one change, /admin. Okay, so what I did, I just added one /admin, and I will press enter, and you can see this is the administration credentials we have to provide. The username we had just given, I had given it as super, and the password which I had entered there. So I'm entering the password, and now I'll click on login. We can see we have successfully logged in to the Django administration, where we can see we have users. Okay, so we have a super, you can see here it's a super user. So this is the Django admin section, and now we have the access to the Django admin section. We will talk about this section later. Now let's move to this next step, where we have to actually create the HTML web pages and run them. So before doing that, let's see what we have to do. Step number 10, we have to create a directory named templates inside our app. So let's go back for some time. I'll again close the server. So I'll press Ctrl C on the terminal. Now you can see the server is not running now. Now I'll go back to my app folder, and this is my app folder. On this folder, I have to create a templates directory. So I'll go to the new, and then I'll go to the directory, and I'll type templates. Okay, make sure that you are not spelling it incorrectly. So this is templates. I'll hit enter, and now I have this templates directory. Next step, inside the template directory, we need to create another directory with the same name as of app. So let's go and right click on this templates directory. I'll click on new, and again I'll click on directory, and this time I'll write the same name of my app. So here my app is my app. The name of my app is my app. So I'll write my app. I'll hit enter, and now you can see I have this my app directory inside the templates directory. The next step is we need to create, this is step number 12, inside this directory we need to create the index.html file. So let's go, and inside this my app directory, I'll right click, I'll go to the new, and then I'll create one HTML file. So I need to give name as index. So this is our first HTML file, that's why I'm giving it name as index. So this is index. You can see this is index.html. Here you need to see the project structure. This is the Django project. Inside the Django project we have the app. Inside the app we have templates. Inside the templates we have my app directory, and inside this my app directory we have index.html. Now let's write some code inside this HTML within the body section. If you are not aware about the HTML language, then I have already created one playlist for the HTML language. You can go there and learn HTML from there. So currently I'll use one heading tag, and inside the heading tag I'll write my first Django web app, my first Python Django web app. So I'll just written inside the heading, this is my HTML web page. Now let's see what is the next step. In the next step, we need to go to the views.py and define index for this index.html file. So now let me go to the views.py. So inside views.py, we need to define this view. Okay, so we need to give 2 line spaces here, and then we'll use def, this is the keyword, index. Within the parameter we'll use request, this is already in the parameter. Now render request, and then we'll give the path to our index.html. This is my app/index.html. So this is how we define a view for index.html inside the views.py. Be careful with the syntax here. And now the next step. In the next step, we need to copy urls.py from Django project to app. So you can see in the Django project we have this urls.py. So I'll copy this urls.py from here and I'll paste it inside the app. So this is my app. So I'll right click and I'll paste it here inside the app folder. So this is inside the app folder now, urls.py. You can see in your app inside urls.py, we need to create a URL pattern for the index view. So now let's create the URL pattern here. So this is path views dot index, and we'll give it a name as index. Let me give a space here, and you can see we have a red line on views because we have not imported this. To import, we'll write from dot means current directory, and then we'll write import views. So once we have imported the views, you can see this importation error is now corrected. So we have created a URL pattern here in the urls.py of our app. Now let's go to the next step. The next step is we need to set the URL patterns inside the urls.py of our Django project. So inside the Django project, we also need to create the URL pattern. So let us go to the urls.py of our project. So you can say this is our project and we have urls.py, and in this urls.py we actually need to import all the URLs which we had created in the apps url.py. So you can see here we have added the path include, and then we need to write name of our app. This is my app.urls. My app.urls. Now let us import this include. So we have already imported the path, so we just have to add include here, which is in Django URLs. So the importation step is already completed now. The next step is okay, so we have created URL patterns in the project. Now we need to run the server. Okay, so now we need to run the server. For that we will type python manage.py run server. So we can simply run the server and click on this URL. So there is an error on the web page. View my app.views index did not return any HTTP response object. Okay, so there is some error in the views.py. Let me go back. Okay, so we have not used return statement here because it needs to return one parameter from here. So now its return statement has been added, and I have pressed Control S, and I'll again click on this server. I can close the server in the Python terminal, and I can restart the server. So let me restart the server. Python manage.py run server, and now I'll click, I'll hit enter, and then again I'll click, and you can see this is my first Python Django web app. So this is our first web page running here. Our first Django website is running. So these are all the steps to create your first Python Django web app. In the upcoming lessons, we will be dealing with more, and we'll be creating a better website.